My name is Kaylee, and tonight I'm going to tell you a story about an alternative reality that happened to you upon graduating from Austin Center for Design. So the good news is that you graduated from Austin Center for Design, so you should be very proud of yourself. And you started a business while in the program that you continued after the program because things were going really well. Business was booming, you were starting to make some money, and you went to the bank and you took out a loan, so you put more money into the business, and you were creating a lot of products until there was an explosion at the factory. You owe people a lot of money now, and you're not able to deliver on the product. Your business goes south really, really fast, and you're in a really sticky situation right now. Because that money that you borrowed from the bank, well, they've come to collect the money, and you don't have it. So what's happened to you now is they took all of your valuable possessions, your car, you don't have a cell phone because you weren't able to pay that, you were not able to make rent, so you're out of a home, you're out of cash. Since you spent so much time working on your business, you didn't spend any time making friends. And you can't think of anyone right now that you could possibly call for help. Even your parents. Your parents wanted you to go to business school. They wanted you to be a lawyer or a doctor. They wanted you to do something that they knew, and you told them that you were going to start this really great business, and they really did not believe that you were going to be successful. And the fact that you're not, you don't feel like you can go to them for help. But more so than that, they are not even on this side of the country. They're very far away. So you're out on the street. What are you going to do? Well, you remember there's this place that you would drive by in your car, back in the day when you had a car, and you saw people handing out things, and you thought, okay, this would probably be a good place that I can go. So you decide to walk there. It's a long walk. It's a couple of miles. It's very hot. Your feet are aching. You haven't really eaten in a couple of days, and you haven't slept either. But you find the spot underneath the bridge where the homeless people live. And luckily, they give you a little bit of information. One of them says, go over this way. I got a caseworker, they can help you. Another one says, well, if you want food, you should go over this way, and they can feed you. And then someone else says, my buddy's giving out some cell phones. I don't really know where he is right now, but maybe you could try and get one of those. And you're listening to all this information, and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't know how to act upon it. You actually have a tiny bit of money, but trying to decide where to spend your money, take the bus, go over there, buy yourself a taco from the guy on the street because you're freaking starving. You're experiencing something that we read about in class, that you read about in class. And it's the fact that when you're in poverty, the conditions are so stressful that cognitively, your brain doesn't work the same way that it does. So all you can really think to do right now is sit down and cry. And you're exhausted. So that's what you do. You sit down underneath the bridge next to the street, and you cry until you fall asleep. That sometimes seems to make things a little bit better. However, you're woken up by this voice that you hear. And the voice says, oh, God, gross, that smell. And you look up, and it's this lady, and she says, these people, they have no self-respect. Look, just lying there on the ground. They're so lazy. That's when you realize the lady's talking about you. You think, I have self-respect. I'm not lazy, down and out, lady. In fact, I started my own business once. I am what you would call an entrepreneur. And so you stand up and you think about what you read about entrepreneurs, what Martin Osberg say. It's an innate ability. You have creativity, you have courage, and you have fortitude, so you feel a little bit better because you know that an entrepreneur has the innate ability to sense and to act upon an opportunity. So you're racking your brain is a little bit frazzled right now. And you happen to overhear a conversation. Two of the homeless men underneath the bridge are talking. And they're talking about a job opportunity one of them knows is on the outside of town. There's a piece of land, it's quite far away, but there's a man that's paying people to clear the land. You just have to get there, show up, bring your tools for clearing the land, and he'll pay you cash. And this first guy, he says, but I think it's like, I don't know, the bus route, there's a lot of, it's like 3 buses away. I don't really know how to get there. And the second guy goes, yeah, I know, and I don't have any tools, so what are we gonna do about that? So you're listening, and you think, okay, wait, if we can get out there, we can get some money. And how are we gonna get a car? How are we gonna get tools? You can go to the bank and get a loan. But you remember from the article you had read about Eunice, that banks have the belief that poor people are not entrepreneurial, and they have no collateral, so you're not going to give a loan to them. Going to the bank is actually out of the question for you. So what you decide to do is your best second option. Do you know what you do?
Ninja Turtles.
Steal. So you go and you get your hands on a car, and get your hands on some tools. You know it's like not really a great thing to do to steal a car, but you also need to get yourself off the street. And Dean Spears talked about how poverty causes you to have bad behavior and make bad decisions, and that's what's happening for you right now. It doesn't seem relevant not to make that decision. So when you get the car, you're kind of happy about that. You decide to offer the homeless people rides out to the job site. And it goes really well. They're excited about that. Woohoo! So you take them out to the job site, and when you're there, you rent the tools to them. So what's happening is something that Prahala talks about is unlocking the purchasing power of the poor, because buying a tool doesn't actually make any sense for them, but renting a tool for small increments of money so that they can work on the field and do the job does make a lot of sense. They work on the field, they go to the foreman, he pays them money, they take the money, then they give some of it back to you for rent. You don't have to be a thief right here any longer. So you're getting some money in your pocket, and the people that are homeless that went out to the field, we're getting some money in their pockets as well, which is something else that Prahala talked about that we can see is true here, is that by giving the poor purchasing power, you are actually empowering them. So right now, you are not only an entrepreneur, but you are a social entrepreneur because you have found an unequal equilibrium. You found an opportunity to help people that are unable to help themselves. And you think about what you're going to do next. You're going to maybe get some investment money and scale this and grow your business. Don't you think that's what you would do next? Seems like a really good idea. You are an entrepreneur after all, except there's just one problem. And the problem is that you're a thief and that you committed a crime to start your business. And that's important because no one's going to invest in you. And that's important because even though you have the innate qualities of an entrepreneur, that you have drive and spirit and creativity, you're not going to be able to alleviate yourself from this situation, from this world that you've created? Come on.